Is that possible?
I want you to do what you did last week. That energy. You know the energy that you had last week.
What about?
The energy you had last week
I don't
when you
remember.
banged on the table. You looked into where you on your camera right there.
I remember.
You looked into it. I need you to do that one time. I told you.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, how about
We're
that?
still doing
Yeah.
it? Even with the
Yeah, they were pretty close.
They were pretty
Almost
close.
pulled off another miracle.
Almost, huh?
Yeah.
You know, in sports, pretty close. It just doesn't cut it. Skip.
No, it don't cut it. It don't cut it, kid.
We have so much to get to. We're going to talk LeBron. We're going to talk Tom, Cam, Aaron Rodgers. But we begin by discussing another loss for the Cowboys. They had to come from behind for the second week in a row. Dallas trailed by as many as 15 in the second half against Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. But Dak put on a show through the air, passing for 472 yards and 3 touchdowns, and regained the lead with 4 minutes to go. Seattle answered with their own touchdown, giving Dak just under 2 minutes to work with. The Cowboys got just outside the red zone, but Dak ended up throwing his second interception of the game, ending Dallas's hopes. So, Shannon, did the Seahawks win this game, or did the Cowboys lose it?
Well, I don't think there's any question that the Seahawks won this ball game.
Really?
Huh. And just when you thought, you saw what Peyton Manning did to start 2013. You saw what my homeboy did in, I think, 2018. And you was like, there's no way someone's going to throw for this many touchdowns this early and do what Russell Wilson is doing. And lo and behold, Russell Wilson is doing one better than what Peyton Manning did, one better than what Patrick Mahomes has done. 14 touchdowns through 3 games. He should have had another one. Skip, the game shouldn't even come down to this. DK Metcalf pulled a Deshaun Jackson. He's celebrating prematurely. They punch the ball out. It goes out of the end zone. They don't. Not only do they not get.
Who's they? Wait, who's they?
Who?
Trevon Diggs, he can play.
Yeah.
I told you he can play. He's a ball hawk.
Oh, hold on. What did he say? The ball hawk. TJ Lockett had 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. DK Metcalf had 4 catches for $110 and a touchdown. Should have been a second touchdown. But he could really play. But okay, quick carry on. No problem. Hey, no problem. 27 of 38 for 315. 5 touchdowns, 0 picks. They're really playing. Skip, can you tell me the difference between last year's teams and this year's team? Besides, they got a head coach that won a Super Bowl. They fall behind by double digits. Dak throws for a ton of yards. It looks good on the stat sheet, but they caught an L. Their defense is worse than what they were last year. DeMarcus Lawrence, since he signed that $100 million contract, in 19 games, 5 sacks, 0 sacks this year, 0 hits on the quarterback. That's factual. So
Aldon Smith, did you notice yesterday? He was dominating.
Wow.
He was destroying Seattle's offense.
Really?
Yeah, that's the game I saw. I don't know. Maybe I missed.
So the question is, did they win it or did they lose it?
Yep.
Seattle won this ball game, Skip. Russ has been spectacular. Now you can see why every betting house has Russell Wilson as the favorite to win MVP over Mahomes, over Lamar Jackson, because of what he's doing. But there's a guy that's out there in the Midwest in Green Bay. He said, hold on now, Russ. I ain't going to let you get too far here. We're going to talk about him a little later. Skip, look. At some point in time, you're going to have to see the writing on the wall. Dak plays unbelievable when there's little to no expectations. You fall down by 16, you fall down by 15, you're expected to lose the game. Why can't he give you this when the ball game is nip and tuck? Why can't he give you that when it hangs in the balance? Because instead of, he could have went and got a touchdown. What did they settle for? A field goal. Russell Wilson said, I don't need no field goal. I'm going to go get, not only am I going to go get you a touchdown, I'm going to go get you a 2-point conversion. Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks won this ball game. Skip. Dak threw 2 interceptions. The guy's on his butt. The ball hits him in his chest. He's got a 3rd interception. It pops up. Michael Gallup catches it and takes off running down the field. And that's what I said to myself. God dog it, Cowboys, it's the Cowboys' day. And lo and behold, Russell Wilson said, no, it's not. He says, I'm not Matty Ice. After we saw what they did again yesterday. He says, that's not me. Y'all know who I am. I'm the comeback king. Skip, did you realize that since Russell Wilson, since 2016, because I needed to give it context, and I love providing context for people. Russell Wilson, since 2016, the very year that Dak Prescott got into the NFL, Russell Wilson has been sacked 192 times, 36 more than Matt Ryan. And in that same process, he has more game-winning drives than any other quarterback. So this notion that Dak Prescott is not getting protected when Russell Wilson has been sacked 36 more times than Matt Ryan, who's been sacked more times than Dak Prescott, is no excuse. At some point in time, Skip, all I know is this. What you bargained for, what you said, everybody, oh, the Cowboys are going to do this, the Cowboys are going to do that. The Cowboys actually look worse this year than they did last year because defensively, Skip, they are worse. They are worse than what they were last year. And the guy keeps falling behind by double digits. Seattle won it. Cowboys ain't lose nothing, but they're going to lose a lot more. Let's go shake and bake.
Who's shaking back?
You know who shake and bake is.
Oh, now you're on the
No, Browns, the Browns, baby, Browns.
Okay, I'll give you the points right now, and I'll take Dallas.
Nope,
Whatever I don't even know what the points are.
Nope,
4, 5,
nope,
6, 7. I don't
nope,
care. I'll
nope,
take Dallas
nope.
next Sunday at home.
No.
Okay, my turn.
Miles Garrett go help Fields there, though.
I'll give you the points right.
Let me think about it, Skip. It's early.
Okay, it's getting late for my Cowboys.
Already, it's 3 games in.
My Dallas Cowboys lost that game far more than Seattle won that game. Let's look at the most key stat of this whole game yesterday.
Yeah, let's please.
Guess how many times Russell Wilson was forced at home to punt by my defense? Guess how many times?
How many times you punt?
7 times. That's got to be some kind of record for up there at Seattle. You just can't stop them. You say my defense is leaky, it's porous, it's a disaster, it's worse than last year. I saw stretches yesterday when it was far better than it ever thought about being last year. I like the new playmakers. I love Trevon Diggs. He is a ball player.
Yeah.
He will go out and ball. He will get his hands on footballs in ways that Byron Jones never dreamed in his fondest dreams of getting hands on footballs. I like little Jordan Lewis just running around. He gets his hands, he'll foul people, he'll get pass interference, but he gets in the middle of things and causes disruption. And Aldon Smith is a godsend. I thought he ran out of gas a little bit in the fourth quarter, which is predictable because he hasn't played in 5 years and there was no preseason. But I liked in stretches. In fact, I loved what I saw from my defense. But I did not consistently love what I saw from my quarterback and my offense because you cannot go up there and cough it up the way Dak Prescott did. And if we could just see those plays just very quickly, because the first one, I looked the other way because he hadn't thrown an interception in 292 attempts. So you can't crush him for this, but you can't do this at Seattle. He gave Russell Wilson short fields twice. This is going to be a short field. Look where he's going down to. He's going all the way down to the 33-yard line, and Russell's going to take that home. Okay, it's just a little late and a little behind. Okay, and I said, okay, but 292 attempts without an interception.
That's pretty good.
Here's
You
the
live with that.
first play of the second half. You can't do this. You can't double pump and hold the ball in the pocket like he did 2 years ago, 3 years ago. You just can't do it, and they come up with, you want to talk about a short field. This is like a gimme touchdown, right? And then there's the one you just talked about. That should have been another short field touchdown. And I'm sorry, Dak, you can't do that. You can't. That was maybe another miracle up in Seattle. I thought it was starting to happen.
That's exactly what I thought.
And it actually came down to the last play on which he nearly fell.
How did he get out of that?
I don't know. It was a miracle. It was a miracle. I thought it's Atlanta all over. I was ready to hit send on it's a miracle. And what happened? He couldn't get a hold of the football here. He couldn't get a grip on it, and he threw a flutter ball to nobody, and obviously some third-string cornerback intercepted it because Seattle was down to its third-string cornerback, and obviously Jamal Adams got hurt late in the first half, and he was cheerleading the whole second half from the sideline.
Yes.
So you got to be better. And yet, all that, you had 10 more penalties. You can't have 10 penalties. Starting to wonder about this new coach. I don't know.
Well, Skip, they had 4 holding calls on one drive.
You can't do it if you're going to win up there.
Yes.
Because overall, you do great things. Overall on offense, you're 7 of 15 on third down. That'll work. You're 2 of 2 on fourth down. That'll really work. You pile up 522 yards.
80 plays.
To Russell Wilson's 412. Well, it's good enough. You see the firepower. You say, wait a second, that's good enough to win the game. But then let's get back to my defense. They gave up 3 plays that were inexplicable breakdowns of the defense. And the first one was to Lockett. And listen, you know Lockett, I consider him as dangerous a deep threat as there is in football, right? Tyler Lockett. And he gets loose for 43 yards and nobody's home. And I'm saying, I don't know. How can you let him get loose for this? Because there's nobody home. Wait a second. Safeties. Safe is the wrong word. They shouldn't be called safeties because they're unsafe.
Look at this.
And then here's another one. That's the one. But it should have been a touchdown, and he's wide open. And then we get another bombs away across the field to Metcalf. This is the one that broke the game. This is the winning score.
Winning score, yeah.
And again, it was kind of covered late by the weak side, the backside safety.
Right.
But there are too many breakdowns, which brings me to my point. I believe this game was lost by the Cowboys about 3 weeks ago. How many times have I beaten the table over here, Jerry? You have to go get Earl Thomas. You have to. I get the baggage. It's bad sign upon bad sign upon bad sign that Pete Carroll and John Harbaugh both said enough. We have the litany of all the abuses, all the rule breaking, all the violations that this man imposed upon the Seahawks and then on the Ravens, two really good football teams who said no to Earl Thomas. But Shannon, he grew up in Texas. He went to the University of Texas. He's a lifelong Cowboy fan. We remember back in 2017, he ran all the way up the tunnel after Jason Garrett. Come get me.
Right.
He wants to play for this team. I'm sure he would love to end his career for this team. But it's getting too late because yesterday was back in his old stomping grounds,
Well,
right?
Skip, the question is, Jerry's probably thinking, well, if he has a falling out, he has a disagreement with one of the coaches or players in this locker room, is he going to run up behind Ron Rivera and say, come get me?
You could be right. It's just worth a shot because of what we saw yesterday. The two safeties are nice kids. They're just good kids. We had Xavier Woods on the show. He's a great kid. But he and Darian Thompson, they're just guys to me.
Yeah.
They're fine. That you can make do with them. But when you're making do, you're going to lose.
But, Skip, if you look at that last touchdown from Metcalf, and I know they didn't show it, but if you were to look at it and look where he came from, he was on the far left.
I got it.
And he came all the way across the field. That's not on your safeties. That's on your front four. That's on Everson Griffin. That's on D. Law. That's on Tristan Hill. That's on Dontari Poe. That's on Woods. That's on Crawford. That's on those guys, Skip.
You didn't name Alden Smith.
Alden Smith.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Skip, I mean, because he's starting on one side, he's coming clearly across the field. Yep. I'm like, when Russ threw the ball, Skip, because I was like, Russ, where are you throwing the ball? And then I'm like, and I think what's so frustrating for you is that it's just not that they're open, it's by how far they're open. This isn't college. You're not supposed to be open by 8-9 yards in NFL. These
are breakdowns. These are blunders, strategic blunders where you just lost sight of somebody. And in this league, if you lose sight, there's such big errors. Okay, so your quarterback has 2 huge errors, and then I failed to even mention that your kick returner,
Bobbled it to the one.
Pollard, he fumbles it on the goal line, and they get it at the 1, and then Zeke slips down, and it's a safety.
Yep.
Okay, it's 2 more points, and it's a psychological blunder. It hurts the momentum of your football team. They botched an extra point, and they blew again. They go for 2 fairly early in the fourth quarter to tie, and I don't like the play calls. They wind up throwing it to Noah Brown, and I'm thinking, why is he even in the game? I don't know what happened, because all of a sudden, out of nowhere yesterday, Noah Brown played 29 plays, and by the way, I'm pretty sure he was the target of the miracle pass at the end.
Yes.
85's in the back of the end zone.
At that point in time, Skip, you just try to get it to the end zone and hope for a miracle.
I got it, but he was in, and CD wasn't in on the last play. If you could, coaches, could you explain that one to me? I don't get it.
Well, there was a lot of plays that Amari was missing, Skip.
He was missing
and
a
I'm
bunch
like,
of plays.
And then I see him come in, and he comes back in, and he's blocks on a screen. So I'm saying, hold on, wait a minute. If you're too injured to run pass routes, how the hell are you not going to be too injured to block on a screen?
How many times on the road last year did we see him ask out?
Something's not adding up,
Something is
Skip.
wrong.
Yes, it is.
He makes $20 million.
It's not adding up.
To come up big on the road, and he's not coming up big enough on the road.
And thus far, Skip, he's probably been their third or fourth best receiver.
I agree.
Cedric Wilson has been better than he has.
Yep.
Michael Gallup has clearly been better than he has.
Yep.
And CD. So right now, he's the fourth receiver. Fourth receiver for $20 million. Something's not right, Skip.
Cedric Wilson played 24 snaps yesterday.
Yes.
That's a lot. And I didn't see it coming.
I didn't
either.
either.
He came up big, man. He made 2 big catches.
5 for $107 and 2 touchdowns. Woo. Skip, I'm like, who the hell is this kid?
I agree. The last time I saw him was at Chicago on that Thursday night, and it was late in the game. So I'm starting to wonder, coaches, do you have them ready? Do you have them right? Do you have them prepared? So what happened? I almost you chuckle at this, but when Dak lost the football on the first play of the second half,
right,
and suddenly they fall behind quickly, what was it, 30 to 15? Yeah, 30 to 15. My first thought was, well, Dak's got him right where he wants him because now he can actually play football, right?
Right.
So what did he do after that in the second half? He goes 24 of 35 for 291. He almost threw for 300 yards in the second half. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
And a fumble.
Yeah, and a fumble. Okay, so have we seen that movie before? He led the NFL in second half passing yards last year by a landslide.
Right.
Because he's at his greatest when it's hopeless, right? In the first half, he threw for 181, which is pretty good, but it wasn't 291 in the second half. And by the way, just for the record this time, he did bring them all the way back to ahead.
Yeah.
They got the lead. And so I'm saying, okay, if you can do that and you go ahead 31-30 with 3:59 left, that's a pretty great second half. So I'll buy into that. But now it's back to the defense. Can you stop them? Well, obviously, I sat back in my chair and I just said, this is over. Russell Wilson's, that's way too much time.
Skip, and if you really look at it, if you really analyze the game and watch the way Russell had played up until that game, Russell didn't play one of his better games. He's got guys wide open for first downs and he's throwing it at their feet.
There were many times when he did not look like Russell Wilson.
And I'm
agree.
So I'm thinking, man, Russ, you could literally hang 50 on this team.
You could.
And he was a little off, and he still threw for 5 touchdowns. Rich really should have been 6 had DK Metcalf not. Skip, at what point in time are you going to say, you know what, let me get the ball in the end zone? Skip, I mean, what did he thought? Diggs didn't fall down. You just beat him. So by you slowing down, Diggs is still running. Skip, that's the Alabama mentality. He's not going to quit on the play. You know Coach Saban wouldn't allow him to quit on the play, so that's his mentality.
I agree.
And he punches the ball out, and now instead of getting 3 points, a touchdown, you don't even get 3 because now Dallas gets the ball at the 20 going back the other way.
What about DK Metcalf never does that again in his career?
I bet he does.
But he seems like a good kid to me. He seems like he wants to learn how to.
Russell went immediately to him and put his arms and said, hey, bro, don't worry about it. We'll get it back. We'll get it back. And he got it back.
Okay. So in the big picture, it still comes down to one defensive play. And this is the play of the game. And it's 4th and 3 at the Dallas 47 in that last-ditch drive by Russell.
Yeah.
Well, if you make one more play on defense,
it's probably going to be over.
It's probably going to be over.
Right.
And he hit our man Greg Olsen over the middle. He was pretty open for 11 yards. If we could see this. And this is the ball game right here. Okay, I'm back to, I'm going to harp on this because I first guessed it. I've been campaigning for this. Again, if you have Earl Thomas back there, maybe he gets in the middle of that. He might. But you never know. You never know.
But if you look at it, you got 3 guys covering 2. Where's the middle linebacker going?
Know.
Why would you vacate that? Look at this, Skip.
Yeah,
where's he going? That's his play. If he stays right there, if Russell throws it, he's going to hit him dead in his chest.
Bolted to the
left. He's going to a flat when he got a flat defender.
I don't know where he's going. It is
Thomas. I think his last name, I think it's Thomas, 48.
Yep. I don't know.
Where you, bruh?
Don't know. Everybody came over here, and Trevon Diggs was on the split receiver.
Right.
So nobody's home. And the safety didn't come up fast enough to get involved in the play. And that's the football
Somebody
game.
blew it because it looks like they're playing man at the top, and it looks like Thomas is playing man, and somebody down here at the bottom is playing zone. So somebody absolutely blew that coverage.
Another breakdown. So what do we see in the biggest picture here? Was my team lucky to win last week?
Absolutely. You should be 0-3.
Okay. But I can also make a case, if you give me that luck, we got a horrendous call at Rams to start with. We could have won that game. And I still think we should have won yesterday. If you eliminate the mistakes, you win that game. I thought Dallas proved over the expanse of the game, they looked to be the better team than Seattle. Now, Seattle's just beat all to hell on defense.
Yeah.
Well, look at the yards. I mean, you put up 522 on the road.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. If you look at Seattle's defense, they're giving up about 500 yards a game.
Okay.
It's because of Russell. has been so exemplary in the first 3 games. This is the only reason. I don't believe any other quarterback could possibly do what he's doing right now, Skip.
Yep.
He's been unbelievable. He's been unbelievable. Skip, did you know Zeke had 12 targets yesterday? In the past game, 12 targets.
Okay. And Zeke was kind of out of it yesterday. He has 14 carries for 34 yards, and he did not look like that bell cow you say he needs to be. They're a passing football team.
Oh, no, they're
That's what they do.
No. You're a fall behind football team, Skip Bayless. When there are expectations, what did Dak Prescott do? Zilch. Nothing, nada. Now you get behind, there's no expectations. Nobody expecting anything out of you. You can deliver.
Okay, so now I've been on the hot seat for all this show. I'm switching the hot seat over there.
What?
I'm hitting the button over here. Your seat's starting to get warm over there, just like your car can get warm.
Okay, what happened?
There's this team in Philly that used to be called the Eagles.
Ah, baby.
They've turned into the Beagles.
Yes.
I don't know what's happening. Your quarterback is W-I-N-C-E.
Yeah, he had look good.
He does not look good.
Right.
And they have now failed to win 3 games because they're 0-2-1 because they got tied by the Bungles yesterday with a rookie quarterback at Philadelphia. They got tied.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, my team is still in first place in the NFC East, and I still love my team to win the NFC East.
Skip, it's a trash division. Can we admit that?
But they still get a playoff berth.
Yes.
Because if you win it, you're in, unless the commissioner rules against the NFC East and says no playoff team from the East this year.
Who said y'all gonna win it?
Oh, we got this.
Who said who? I don't know who said who bestowed you kings.
Okay, so we got the Browns at home.
Okay.
Then we got the Giants at home. Then we got Arizona at home, which will be dicey, but Kyler had a rough afternoon in his house.
Oh, Kyle, I trust Kyle.
Okay, well, that's 3 in a row.
That's 2 or 3. You're losing 2 or 3 of those.
You go to Washington, and then you go to Philadelphia. Well, what if they just get on a roll and win the next 5 games?
Ain't happening. Ain't happening. Ain't
I
happening.
kind of like it. It has a good ring to it.
It's not happening.
Yep, we got all the junk out of our system.
Shake and bake. Shake and bake with Chubb and Kareem Hunt,
Really?
Odell Jarvis.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll give you the points right now.
How many points is it?
I don't know. I have no
6-point
idea.
favorite. Guys.
Okay.
The
It's what?
Cowboys. The Cowboys are 6-point favorites.
I got it.
6?
Good, I take it.
Okay,
6.
done.
You're good.
Thank you.
Got
It's only Monday.
I saw him.
good.
I saw him
real
coming.
good.
Saw him coming. I knew you do. I knew you fall
didn't
for it
have
every
the
time.
points.
I know, but I do. If I just pretend like I didn't really want it, knowing that I'm gonna take it all along, you keep egging me on, and then
That's why I'm 43 cases up.
Yeah, I thought you'd learned something by now.
I'm about to get it back to the NBA Finals.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.